All right, now we're on to a whole list of memories here.
Memories like the ones we used to know. See, you should have said you're annoyed by my singing. Most of all.
I just deal with your singing.
You deal with it. You love it. All right, so this are some CU podcast memories. Both we'll go to the Patreon ones first. I have access to that, and then we'll talk about other ones that you guys submitted on the CU podcast memories hashtag. It's been a lot going on
singing
here.
in the shower is something special.
Oh, Norm loves it. I mean, that's why I haven't seen Norm this year. I think he's the reason why. I'm the reason why he does.
Norm's the reason why he's doing less conventions
I'm
this
the
year.
reason why.
Yeah, or you're the reason why Norm's doing less conventions because
Yes.
of your singing.
Yes, that's why. I think so. So let's see some of the comments from people here. Whoops, why did I just click off here? Ian, what is jumping out at you as if aliens came down to Earth and they said, we want to know about the CU podcast that's been beamed to us across the galaxy. Give us like 3 or 4 segments that define the CU podcast. What would it be?
Retro RVGS or Retro VGS, also Coleco Chameleon.
The whole saga, the whole 5-video saga.
The whole yeah.
That's like a 3-hour Blu-ray, basically.
Yeah, so that whole thing, the whole Tim Atwood stuff, obviously.
Ninja Turtles, Michael Bay announcement.
Yeah, the whole Michael Bay stuff back when I was far more fiery.
You're still fiery to an extent. We both slow down with our age.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as whiny anymore. People getting mad at me for being mad at people like PewDiePie.
Well, people were pissed at me more. That's when you were on the podcast.
Yeah.
For 5 months.
Yeah, whatever. He's a fucking chump.
Well, someone's gonna do a 50-minute video, Ian.
It's all right.
Let's. We'll get to these. We'll forget. Jacob says, "Little bitch."
Yeah, little bitch is always a good one. I still have a perler bead art hanging in my house that someone made me. It says little bitch.
Past Twitter post the day before Ian's return saying something bad happened, then fireworks and chanting. Come on, Ian. You got to give it up for me. I went all out in the post-production on that. Come on.
Post-production was fine. I still wish you hadn't told people that I was like dying or something like that.
I did not say you were
everyone
dying.
thought I was dying.
I said I have some news about Ian, and you know that's all. I kept it vague. And it was 20. It was less than 20. He was actually pissed at me. I remember you being pissed.
Yeah, I was upset. It was sad.
It was insane. I was like, 16 hours of people wondering. I mean, God, it's all about drama. Ty says the different amounts of facial hair you both have had.
I've had a lot of different amounts of facial hair
and hair
and head hair. Yeah,
I was all long hair when we started.
I was short when we started.
Also, when Pat said my real name for the first time on the podcast, called me good guy. Aw.
My
man from Sean.
My man.
When you guys covered the backlash against Denny's remaking retro Atari games.
Who? Oh, Denny's. Oh, asteroids.
People were either pissed or pretending to be pissed about that. Ian's return chanting Ian. The That's It fruit spots, top notch. Come back to us, That's It fruit.
Please, That's It. Come back to us. I hope we weren't the reason why our guy got fired, because, boy, we got a lot of fruit bars.
The Ian Stalker ranch dressing parts 1 and 2. Is something you want to say about part 3?
Yeah, part 3 is probably not ever going to happen. Just going to say it right now. It's not fun. The first 2 parts of the story were, amusing. The third part's just weird and creepy. And
with the letter in the DS case.
Yeah, there's a letter that he wrote me, and it's there's a lot of unlayers to pack. There's a lot of layers to unpack.
Lots of ins, lots of outs.
A lot of ins, lots of outs, and I just don't really feel like going back to it.
You don't want to re-experience it?
Yeah. I mean, I really didn't want to re-experience a lot of that story. I mean, as funny as it is, it really wasn't a great time. And I've learned that you get through things by laughing, and I've told the first part of that story a lot. But really, once you get to part 3, when I've told the story in the past, I've never really done the part 3, and I kind of let it slip when I was telling part 2 that, there was that letter, and I really should have just, whatever.
You should have mentioned the letter.
You
should have mentioned there's a part 3.
Because there really isn't. It's like 5 minutes, and it's just weird, and basically...
It's anticlimactic?
Yeah. It's essentially just like a breakup letter. It's him being like, okay, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore, even though we weren't really friends. And a lot of things are said in there that are weird. And that's about it. That's about it. And we're just not doing it. We're not doing it.
That was it?
The end.
It's kind of like the Spider-Man 3 of the trilogy. It's a lot of build-up, very disappointing.
Yeah, the payoff isn't great. Trust me, you're not really missing anything.
Okay.
It's just, that's it. It's the end of it.
All right, then. Kate says, I know everyone is saying it, but the ranch dressing story has brought me many a laugh when I was down. Ian's storytelling prowess really shines, and it really greatly amuses me to see Pat doubled over with laughter.
And I'm glad. I have no regrets about the first 2 parts. I just should not have mentioned the third part.
I really enjoyed Pat's ghost stories. I would love to hear more, and Ian's reaction was amusing. Yes, because Ian called me basically a fucking idiot.
Ghosts are dumb. They don't exist.
Yes.
The end.
Even though his people's family have probably seen him, other people in my family.
Bonnie believes in ghosts.
But we're all fucking idiots. All of us are. Ian's the smart one in the group. Okay. Most recently, Pat's going Jersey on the Jerks doing Rock Band at 2:30 a.m. Yeah. Another one. I really like the way both you and Ian especially always talk about controversial topics with a good amount of nuance and trying to see things from both perspectives. Doesn't always work out. You're not afraid to have opinions, of course, but you try not to pass judgment unless you know for sure that you have the entire picture.
It's not going to work every time, but, we got to try.
The nuances needed in today's climate, absolutely, where flaming and jumping to conclusions is the norm, not our norm, the norm. I added that. So that's something I really appreciate. The fact that I trust what you guys say to be our earnest opinions. Yes.
Who was that?
This was Emil.
Well, thank you, Emil.
Danny Sullivan's Indie Heat. Yes, the game that we went from an $8 game to a $30 game because of us. I can say that.
I'll blame us on that one.
JD Combs, I got a few favorites. I started following you guys in late 2015, early 2016. I really love the dynamic between the two of you. Ian was out for so long, could tell it just didn't feel the same. Yeah, I wanted to die. It was rough. I don't blame Ian for that. I had to get through it or else the podcast would have ended. But it was right after the release. I'm not saying pity, but it was right after the release of my book. I was already exhausted, and then it was like the worst timing ever. I was like, okay, let's do it. And I remember asking Ian, can you do it? Can you do it? And he's like, I'm feeling bad. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck. I had to drag myself to the table and mumble for 2 hours by myself. But it kind of worked, and Ian got back there, and he's better now. Now he's like, oh, he's good now.
No, I'm good.
You can poke that Billy, and before it would kill you, now it's okay.
Yeah, I'm all right.
The witty banter back and forth, the occasional annoyance with each other, You both have fresh perspectives that sometimes are 2 different sides of the same coin, giving a well-rounded view. Thanks for all you guys do. I'm excited for more Let's Plays. That's not happening, but the marathon will. And of course, the letter, which we talked about. Congrats from Danny. Daniel Greenberg. As someone who produces a Let's Play program, I'd love to hear your thoughts, experiences, challenges regarding the Let's Play phase. Well, it sucked because that's when Ian first got hurt.
Yeah.
So it kind of never got off the ground.
And I was sick leading up to it. Like, I was sick in all the Let's Plays we did. I just didn't realize what was going on. But I felt like shit in all of those. And it shows. I was...
Well, you hear it at least.
Yeah, I was miserable during those. And yeah, it just... It was one of those things where it was kind of a decent idea. It could have been fun. I got sick, and by the time I wasn't sick anymore and we got back into the role of this, there was just no time for anything else. And it blew up in launch.
Oh, there you go. Now we'll go to the podcast memories from Twitter. Listening to Pat talk about his haunted house while at my night job all alone. I was paranoid every Monday noise like the building AC turning on. Also, Pat's TV buying woes. I forgot about that. And Ian's little bitch story right up there. My TV fucking rant. That's right. Kate,
what was the TV thing again? It was the...
I bought the refurbished one. I tried to
right.
return it. It was broke. It was a whole fucking thing.
Yes. Oh, the packing, the UPS issues.
Guy, yes. Giving Joel Osteen... This is from Kate. Giving Joel Osteen a well-deserved roasting after Hurricane Harvey. That piece of shit.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
And recognizing the work of the great Mattress Mac. Cool.
Oh, he just held a reunion party for all the people who sheltered.
That's
at
a good
store.
guy. Not some fucking
awesome.
fake fucking Christian. And people say, oh, he's a real Christian. How do you decide? He's not a fucking Christian according to the Bible. Eat me.
I tasted his penis and it didn't taste like Christian.
Yeah, that's right. You quote me on that.
That's right.
At Best Buy Rick, Coleco Chameleon controversy. So that was sort of the zenith of the CU. I would say the CU podcast is not as popular as what it was 2.5 years ago.
Oh, sure.
Because we got a lot of exposure with that. It was Vice, Motherboard, a website, Atari Age forums, which we love you guys there.
Yep.
Fortunately, so this is what I'm going to say about the Retro VGS / Coleco Chameleon thing. If we can encapsulate what that was to us and what was happening. That was a moment in time where I think retro gaming was hitting that point where I think it was that, right, now everyone's going to try to capitalize on this commercially as much as possible. That was before I think all these all-in-one systems were getting more popular. That was before the NES Classic Edition. That was before. There's way more products now. There was products then too, but now we're at the point where now it's almost too many of them. There's too many clones out there.
Right.
And this was a point in time where you were getting a lot of these ideas where people want to capitalize on it. So Ian and I think, did our best to try to steer people away from what we thought were bad ideas. And this to me was the king of the bad idea.
Yeah, this was the when the retro VGS came around, it was dead in the water.
And that was like summer 2015.
That was quick.
Yeah.
That was dead pretty quick, and squashed pretty quickly. The Chameleon with the Coleco name.
That was a few months later. It was like later in 2016.
That had more steam behind it because of the name and because a couple of websites.
All websites regurgitated the press release.
That's what I'm saying. But it started with a few regurgitated that press release, and it started to steamroll a little bit.
Yes, and so me and Ian took it upon ourselves, and we were one of the only fucking people to do that. I'm not patting us on the back, but I'll get into why that annoyed me. We were the only ones to see the dangers of that, of using a dead brand with a new company that was not that original company,
right,
using that for gain. How dangerous that was, and how that could be a start of a dangerous precedent, in which we've seen with the Atari VCS, where they kind of are, there's an association with Atari, but they're not the Atari of old. But this was totally divorced from that, with someone I even knew personally who was doing this project, where I was dead set against it. And we had to let the truth be known about it, regardless of whatever fucking collateral damage eventually came to Ian, and of course to me in early 2016 while Ian was sick. Well, no, you weren't sick then. You were just gone for that. No, that's right.
No, I was sick.
You were sick then.
Yeah, we're talking early 2017.
Early 2017 it was?
Yes.
I thought it was early 2016.
I got sick in October of 2016.
Oh, you were out for a part of it. Oh no, when I did the video when they announced it, you were around.
Oh yeah,
you were around. Okay,
yeah,
you weren't saying you were around.
My bad.
But what happened was, I think the community really, the retro gaming community really wanted a product like this for whatever reason. They wanted, we want a new retro gaming system, and I think some people got misguided by it. Some YouTubers turned a blind eye to it, unfortunately. That I'm still dealing with blowback to this day, and one for another because of that, because they didn't see how bad this could get before it got awful. And so, we weren't the judge, jury, and executioner. We were just the messengers of this being a bad product even before it was revealed to be the hoax.
So now everyone knows this stuff. So it's the Atari VCS thing. You're just gonna sink or swim. But a lot of people who, I think a lot of people learned their lesson through the Coleco Chameleon. A lot of the people who wanted something like this, and I even understand I even understood to a degree at the point wanting something like that, but it just didn't work. And I think a lot of those people then saw that with the VCS, and it was, more or less. With the VCS, it's a fool and his money will soon be parted. There's not much you can say on that. But at that point in time, it was a very unique thing. And controversy and stories like that bring listeners. It's not going to sustain them forever, though. They have to enjoy the rest of the podcast. So that was certainly, I think, where we had really, really peaked with our popularity. That was easily when we were most popular. That was also when I was recognized probably the most. I was recognized.
At the shop?
No, at the shop, I'm probably recognized most now, like multiple times a day. But out, like,
hey, you're the chameleon guy?
I would be. No, people would recognize me and be like, "Oh, you do that podcast? I saw you with the." That's how people would recognize me. They'd recognize me from the Coleco Chameleon stuff.
I'm going to say this, and I don't know if this is going to be a controversial thing I'm going to say or not.
Oh boy, you're going to say something.
I would hope that the way we treated the situation rubbed off on others in the community to scrutinize these projects that come about. And I think I've seen it a little bit from this experience, where people don't want to get ahead of themselves and proclaim something to be the second coming before it comes out. You hope. Because we were on a fucking lonely island back then. We definitely were, for about 6 months. And then once we espouse it, everyone's like, yeah, this is a scam. It's like, where the fuck were you 5 months, the 5 previous months? Where were you? I don't know, Ian. I don't know where they were because you know what? They weren't around. So, all right. All right. This is from at
Jimmy Reed.
Jimmy.
Remember when you got the gummy penises?
I vaguely remember that.
I very much remember that. What about the time you covered the entire Chameleon and Tim Atwood stories?
Oh,
Those were great. Thank you.
Tim Atwood, we still owe him a few sandwiches.
Yes.
Tim Atwood, I got to visit you at some point.
That was a good time. And the gummy penises came in one of the boxes that we got. Yeah. Yeah, they came.
If you want someone to discuss, I'd like to know why you stopped covering wrestling topics. I'm tired of it. They always did the worst. It was like the worst things we ever talked about. People don't give a shit about us talking about comic books specifically, and then wrestling. It just didn't work.
I love talking wrestling when I'm interested in wrestling. Problem is, I'm so sporadically interested in wrestling. I have to find the time for it. 1, 2. In this current climate, I just have no interest in watching what's on Raw. I have a tough time making the time for NXT. It's not that I don't like it. I just have to be picky and choosy about when I watch it. And yeah, I mean, no one else cares. I mean, the people who like our takes on wrestling really do, and I appreciate that. But it doesn't.
Plus we go on too long. Last time we talked about WrestleMania for a half hour.
We obviously enjoy talking about it way too fucking much.
When we do, we analyze it too much. Then the writers analyze it. We analyze it more than they do, and that's probably the problem.
Yeah, so that's why.
This is from finishing my coffee. When Ian returned from his medical sabbatical, I really thought he wasn't coming back for a minute. Then Pat played the epic Ian march.
Yeah. I mean, once again, kudos to Pat and his post-production.
Are you going to say, fuck you, Pat, for tricking people?
No.
My man from QTA's podcast. Still hurts my laughing heart. Noah's done the ring from the Star Trek 3, which was a really good movie, actually, but that teaser sucked balls. That teaser.
And from Deadass is my boss, the all-time great, the GOAT.
The GOAT,
yes, right. The Q&A GOAT.
The Q&A GOAT.
The GOAT of the past 5 years. We'll give it to you. The Zack Snyder rants from you two have always brought me on parallel levels of joy.
More than me.
This even goes back to the very first CU podcast when you contemplated thoughts on Batman v Superman. Keep up the great work, dudes. You're both a gift to the world. Well, thank you.
Gift to the world.
That's a bit much.
I know you were warning from the beginning how bad it was going to be because you hated Zack Snyder even from the beginning.
Yeah. Yep. Can't stand the guy. I don't have those fiery rants in me anymore. If I look back on 5 years ago to now, the thing that I just don't have
the energy
is
to be angry.
I just don't have the energy to be that angry about shit anymore. And I think the big thing is I look at some of this recent bullshit with say Thundercats or She-Ra, and then I look back at some of the stuff like Batman versus Superman. And in my head, I can do all the gymnastics. And yeah, I fucking can't stand Zack Snyder. I think the guy's a fucking douchebag. And I think his ideas for movies, his darkness, his wanting, there to be prison rape in Batman. Yeah, it sucks. And there's a reason to get upset about it. But I can't be one of those people who finds reasons to get mad at all that bullshit anymore. I can't. That said, Zack Snyder's, he's fucking awful. But I can't. Look,
he's out of the limelight now. He's not involved in the DC stuff anymore.
But look, if you want to go see fucking chapped lip Ninja Turtles, fine. Just go see them. That's fine. If you want to love your Zack Snyder fucking shit movies, that's fine. It's fine. It is. I don't care. I don't care. And I'm going to go and watch the new She-Ra cartoon because I think it looks fine. And if you are going to get that worked up about it, don't get worked up about it. Go pet a fucking dog. Do something better with your time.
That's what we're talking about with Andre recently about the anger and stuff. It's just worn him out, all the anger.
It has. It's worn me out, and I'm tired. I'm tired, and it's preventing. I can't get that angry anymore. I just can't.
You're also 5 years older. You're in your late 30s now.
Yeah. 36. 36. Yep. It's not. It's
36 and a big half.
30. Well, no, I'm not a big half.
Oh, that's right. For some reason, I'm thinking it's July. For some reason, my head is all fucked up.
No, I just turned 36. I got a full year ahead of me.
Closer to 40.
I consider 34, 35, and 36 your mid 30s.
You got one more year left in the mids.
Yeah, one more left in the mids.
One more left in the mids.
So that's not a bad way to end the memories there.
What, you getting older and grayer? or Zack Snyder?
No, ending it on some Zack Snyder.
Yeah, I guess we go full circle back to Zack Snyder and not worrying about. I mean, there's more things to be concerned about in the world versus escapism and how badly. I mean, I watched. For example, the Red Letter Media Mr. Plinkett Last Jedi review came out this morning. I watched it. It was entertaining as always, but it's still not the same as when you watch the prequel ones. It's sort of like the sort of like funny critique anger part it's not gotten old, but we're used to it at this point.
Right.
It's sort of like, yeah, we know it's fun. It's still fun, but we're used to it. So there's only so many times Ian can complain about Zack Snyder before he gets sick of it.
Yeah, I just
5 years later, Zack Snyder, hey, we won't buy you a sandwich, but hey, we'll play some Jenga together, maybe.
No, I'm not gonna kick him in the traffic, but I'm not gonna give him a hug. I mean, I'm just gonna walk by him.
You won't say, hey, Mr. Snyder,
No. I'm just gonna walk by him calmly.
So that's a lot of we made a lot of progress in this therapy session for the past 5 years.
Yeah, we have.
Went from splinters my balls and my asshole and fuck off chop lips to, I'm just gonna walk past the guy.
Just fucking A.
We'll walk past certain YouTubers too when we see him. Now we don't wish him ill will, maybe.
Still a lot of sewage pumps out there.